Time for a new filament from Prusa. So Prusa is a famous company, I think in Czech Republic. It makes very popular printers that you can modify yourself. And this is PETG, and it's yellow gold. We've been using this Yoyi PETG for most of our PETG printing. They have some nice translucent colors like this, but they didn't have a gold color that I wanted, so figured I'd try this. It's kind of expensive. It comes from Europe, but it's supposed to be super high quality. So we'll see how it turns out. It comes in a nice box. It's got a nice good plastic wrap with a tight vacuum on it. And it's got a super big desiccant packet inside. They also track each individual reel, so if there's some problem with a particular reel, you can go back to them and find out what happened to that reel, I guess. So it's got this nice shiny gold fleck color, so no one else had that I could find anyway, so this is going to look pretty cool. And temperatures, it says 250 plus or minus 10. So we can go up to 248. Hopefully that's enough. And heated bed temperature of 80 plus or minus 10. So it's got a really cool hexagon plastic reel. That's interesting. That's a lot of extra work to make something like that, but I guess it looks cool. So let's weigh it and see how much we got. Because we don't know what the empty reel weighs, but we'll just have to guess on that. So 1216, that's pretty good. So this reel with all these holes probably only weighs, I would say, less than 200 grams. So we definitely got our 1 kilogram out of this reel. So we're going to do a temperature tower as usual. We'll go from 240 to 248 by measures of 2. And we'll see how we do. Hopefully this will print at 248 or less. If not, we wasted a bunch of money. I want to include an update on how we're using the side loader. So these are my new reprinted PETG side loaders with a beefed up hook here. So that's working fine. I did notice with this one that when I use these inserts, you wouldn't think about it, but I guess they cause a lot of friction. So I had one print stop in the middle of the night. And I'm guessing it's because there was too much friction pulling the filament in and the motor overloaded or something. They probably have a circuit in there to check to make sure the motor doesn't overload. So the last couple prints, I've just been printing like this with just this axle in here. So this is an ABS axle. It's nice and slick. And this turns freely on this axle with no problem. And it's another good thing I started doing that because these inserts don't even fit in this new Prusa because some other standard, I guess. So these inserts don't even work in this. So we're going to print this the same way. We'll just put this on the axle. Let's find the start here. That's the start. It's hard to tell. Is it glued to it? Oh, it's inserted in there. That's interesting. So to keep the filament from unreeling, there's a little indented hexagon here where you can push it into that. So may use that if it works out. Otherwise, we'll just loop it through a couple of the hexagons. Anyway, so put this axle through here. I'm using these spacers to kind of keep the filament in the middle. So don't want it drifting apart. This is a little bit wider. Well, not really. It's about the same width. Yeah, so the spacers here keep it centered so that when the filament comes out and go into our little tube here and feed into the printer nicely. So coming over the top. All right, so we'll get this loaded up and level the bed, and then we'll start our temperature tower. let's see how we did. Looks pretty good. Printed pretty well at all the temperatures. Huh. Pretty equivalent. Let's see. Lettering looks pretty good all the way up. And the pointy temperature towers all look good. A little bit of sagging here. 248 looks pretty good though. Kind of hard to tell. I kind of like 248. Yeah, I guess we'll put this at 248. That's close to the average temperature that they recommend, 250. So yeah, these little pointy things all look good all the way up. So this is a really good high quality filament, and probably that's one reason why it prints so well even at varying temperatures. So we'll go ahead and print. We print this with 20% cooling, and that looked like it worked out okay. A little bit of blobbing down here. But we'll see how it does on the bed adhesion test. Then we can adjust the cooling as needed. Alright, on to that. And you can see the color really looks cool. So I killed the print because obviously it was failing. It's too hot. Let's see. These should be nice, 20% infill lines on this, all bubbly and so forth. The bottom looks okay. Should have suspected that. If you look at the base of the temperature tower, especially over here, this is printed at 248 and it looks bubbly and not great. So should have paid more attention to that. So two ways to lower the temperature. We could increase the fan speed. Don't want to do that yet, but we're going to reduce the temperature to 240. I am printing some other PETs at 240, even 238. So not sure why I wanted to use 248. I guess I figured it was in the middle of the range. So we'll try this print again at 240, and then if it still has problems, we can increase the fan speed. Okay, let's see how this turned out. Bed adhesion is good, just right. Bottom looks clean. Looks like I printed the bottom okay. Let's look at these bridges. Let's look at the pointy thing. So you can see the pointy things are starting to deteriorate as you get cooler. So 230 is definitely too cool. 232, 234 is when it starts. The pointy thing looks okay, and it's pretty consistent after that. So we don't want to go below 234. The bridges, I mean, the 240 bridge looks slightly better. I don't know. Could be a coincidence, but the 234 bridge looks okay. And the lettering looks okay. So I think we're going to try printing our bed adhesion test at 234 with 50% cooling after layer 3. And we'll see how that turns out. I had to kill that print too. It was remelting the previous layers. Also noticed on the second layer it was starting to do remelting. This is when I was trying to lay down the 50% infill, But it was the previous layer was being remelted when the next layer went down. So I think we either need more cooling. So we'll probably bump the cooling up to maybe 75%. And the other problem is maybe we're too close to the bed to start with. So that meant the first layer was pushed down, was squished too much. That could be another problem, that we're squishing the layer. We're not starting at the right level, and we're squishing the first layer too much. And the rest of the layers are running over each other. So we'll try that and try it again. One website said with PETG you got to do a lot of experimenting, and that looks like what we're stuck with here with this Prusa gold. Okay, well that failed too, so wasn't really putting out enough filament. I think it's possible I got a temperature too low. So we're going to regroup here and think about, do some more research and go back to what we did for some of the other filaments and see if we can crack this filament. It's a lot better than the last time we tried it. Let's get this off of here. Bed adhesion is perfect. And strength is good. I'm squeezing hard. So great strength. Compare that one to this one. I think it's clear now that the problem was under extrusion, so I should have known that. So we're learning every time we do these things. When you get this kind of flaky laying down of the filament, it's because it's under extrusion. So, and the under extrusion was caused by where is that thing? There it is. And the under extrusion was caused by this tube, our heat break tube, developed a little blip in it, and that was causing just enough friction so when the drive motor pushed the filament through, it wasn't pushing out as fast as far as it thought it was. So. All right, well, live and learn. So it looks like for this printer, PETG, we want to print around 240, which is the max, which is fine. And 20% fan after layer 2, and we're using 60 and sometimes up to 80 degrees bed temperature. So 60 is good for things that have big giant areas like this, and if you have a little bit smaller area you want to use a little bit less temperature so it doesn't stick so badly. So. All right, so now we just need to do some design stuff, and we can I'll do the fun print for this filament. Happy with these. They're going to be on my Etsy store by the time this video goes up, and so you can roll the dice and play some Sabacc and win the Millennium Falcon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is STScI signing out, and keep looking up.